Morning, everybody. Tony B here with Sunny Oak Hills. We are, surprise, surprise, not at Sunny Oak Hills today, but we are going to be there this week. It's just today we are doing something different here at the camp. Oh, I hear Tyndall flying jets. I know you guys can't see him because I can't even see him, but Tyndall is out there doing Tyndall Air Force Base doing what Tyndall does. I love it. Love hearing those jets in the morning. Call it the sound of freedom. Today we are doing we're doing two videos at once, but we're going to have two videos from it. This is our little Muscadine area, and this has a lot to do with the future of Sunny Oak Hills. Anyway, these are Muscadine trellises. Basically, the 4 to 5 inch holes or poles, pressure treated. We did 3 rows of them. We have 3 different varieties, and I would love to be able to remember exactly. Oh, smart, look at this. I kept the label on there. So here we have a Cowart variety. We have a Summit variety. And then over here, this may have been the Fry, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we did Fry on this. So these muscadine vines came from Ison's Nursery up in Georgia. We ordered them as well, along with our blueberry plants that we planted here at the camp, which again, you'll see in the future how all this ties into Sunny Oak Hills. But I wanted some muscadines. Quick story on that. My granddad had muscadine vines. I think he just had 2 or 3 of them when I was a kid. And me, my cousins, had a lot of cousins. Come August and September, we are out there enjoying the heck out of muscadines. Didn't really know what they were. I just knew that something that Pa had, and we liked them. And I guess over time, me getting older, I decided that I want muscadines. So we put some here at the camp. Planted these last year. When I did this, I was not real familiar with the correct way of building a trellis. Kind of shot from the hip here to see what happens, and we did have some success. I mean, when we got these vines, they weren't even coming out of these tubes. These tubes are just like a plastic tube with a wrap around it, and it just kind of protects the main vine coming up, but these things are probably about yay tall. And then of course had a little stick on there, tied the vine to that so it would come up. Now what we want to see happen is a vine come up and it gets to the top here and it Ys each direction. Well, me in my ignorance planted 2 side by side, just think, you know what, I will take and I will let that one run that direction and this one run that direction. Not the right way of doing it. I say right way, I mean YouTube, done a lot of research, a lot of videos from Ison's Nursery, and then there's an awesome guy up in Woodbury, Georgia. He's actually just down the road from Ison's Nursery, Shane over at Kinfolk Farms of Georgia. If you guys have any interest in muscadines, this guy is passionate and knows his stuff. He has learned a lot. He's asked thousands of questions to Greg over at Ison's, and he puts out some amazing videos, has a beautiful vineyard of his property there, and has a U-pick where people will come and they'll pick muscadines, and he's got just, I think he's got about 300 plus vines there, so he's learned a lot. He's done really well with building he's got a beautiful place for people to come and enjoy, and he's putting out all the videos of, planting them, irrigation, how to prune them during this time of year. He's got stuff on watching them grow, what he does as far as insects and fighting those up there. They have the Japanese beetles that he has a big fight with. He's just passionate about it. I love watching Shane do what he does. He's a smart guy when it comes to this, and you can just tell he really enjoys. His heart is to do stuff like that, and that's pretty cool to me. So anyway, I obviously do not have the vineyard that Shane does, but we are going to add one more trellis over here. I am going to separate out of this trellis here. One survived, one did not. This one here, both of them are looking really good. So I'm going to take this vine on this side and we're going to transplant it over to here. And then of course this guy here is doing the same thing. So we'll get the trellis built. We will get the wire up. We have two posts, 4 to 5 inches. When I built these last year, um, got 9-gauge wire, high tensile. This thing can be pulled super tight. You can hook up a tractor, pull it really tight, and we got these little, I don't know, clips, binders, what do you want to call them, but the wire comes through this hole that we drilled in the post, comes out here, and as I pull on this, the little teeth in there grab that wire, so it's not like you pull it and it goes back. Whatever extra you pull, it stays. I think Amazon has them, is where I got them from, but unfortunately, when I made my run to Tractor Supply on Wednesday to get new posts and some T-posts, I did not get 9-gauge wire. I think I have 14 gauge, so I will not be able to use these 9-gauge clips. Have to do the old-fashioned way, just drill a hole, tie it off, and hopefully it'll be good. But we will put a T-post in the middle, just like this one has. And another thing, ideally when a muscadine vine is planted, said you want it to come up and you want it to Y at the top, be able to go left and right. Ideally, the fruit that you want picked from this is in the first, 10 feet of the from the source here. So 10 feet out this way, 10 feet that way, maybe 8 to 10 feet. That's going to be your best fruit. If you carry this thing on out, 12, 15, 20 feet, you may get fruit on the end, but it's not going to be as good and the quality that you want. So this sweet spot here of 8 to 10 feet is good. Unfortunately, again, I shot from the hip when I was doing this, so didn't know what I was doing. From post to post, I have 28 feet. And again, planted these together, which I should not have done, but planted them together, thinking I could run everything out this way and run everything out that way. But I screwed myself because now everything is bound up to this one side or that one side. So we're going to take this one out, put it on the new trellis, and then because these posts are 28 feet, I'm going to make these posts closer to 20 feet. So we'll put one over here, and then we'll put one probably right about here. It'll be a 20-foot span from post to post. Do some pruning. There's a whole video. Shane's got a lot of videos on pruning, and so does Ison's. The right way of doing this, but we want to kind of get these guys in order. Hope you guys follow along, and yeah, see how this thing goes. All right, so I understand that ideally you want enough space between these trellises that when these vines bush out going down the wire, that everything will fit and you don't be rubbing against a bunch of vines in between the rows. Planted these last year when I put the trellises in at 8-foot centers, about 8 feet maybe. Again, don't see these getting super bushy. We're not doing this as a big vineyard. It'll be just for us to come out here and enjoy, and probably the birds and squirrels and everything else will get more than we do. Start one off this line here and then go down only 20 feet this time. A little more educated now. I've learned a few things. So let's get this guy laid out. And I could put a string and really get this super fancy to be exact of in line, but I'm going to eyeball it. I'm blind in one eye and can't see out of the other, but we're going to see. I think we'll be all right. We're not building a piano here. We just need a hole in the ground to hold a post. And then from here, we will go out 20 feet. gonna be a lot shorter than the other ones, but that'll work out good because down here I have a magnolia tree that I have to get around the lawnmower, so this will actually be better of not fighting that. You want to eyeball a reference. It's gonna be about here. That's where we're going to dig our 2 holes at. These poles here are about 8 feet long, I believe. Is what I got. And we're going into some soil it's not clay. It's not super easy, but it's not super hard. But it's a pair of post hole diggers, and never really enjoy post hole diggers either. Anyway, we're going to dig this for a while and go dig the other one, get the post set up, and okay, so we got our holes dug here. We're going to start packing some dirt around it. Kind of cheated a little bit. I think last time I bought, I don't know, it may not have been 8-foot poles, but anyway, I got tired of using the post hole diggers, so we're going to start packing some dirt around here, plumb it up as we go. They say that a muscadine vine can produce 60 to 100 pounds of grapes when it's mature, which I think would be awesome if that is accurate. I'm not saying that we'll get that much here, but hey, we may. You never know. I always hope we do. I do want it to lean a little bit this way because my wire is going to be stretched from this pole to that pole. So I'm fine with it being a little leaning towards the north a little bit, because as we tighten the wire up, and again, not able to use the same kind of vices that we used on these other trellises with the 9-gauge wire, but still want it to be relatively tight if at all possible. But we are looking fairly good there. Fairly good there. All right. I think I like this one. We will go down, do the same thing to the other pole, and then we will drill a hole all the way through here, all the way through that one, and stretch our wire out a little bit. See if we can get it taut. Sometimes you can put a little satcrete in here. We've used satcrete a lot on the property. I just, for what we're doing with this guy, these guys, I don't really see a need to have to put a bunch of satcrete in there. Alright, come over a little bit more there. And then we still like that. I dig it. Alright. Now it's time to drill some holes. Run some wire. Talked about how low this is. And as you can see, we didn't go near as far on this one, just because I don't need that much trellis for a single vine. So the vine's going to be planted here in the middle. For you people like me, OCD, it's kind of a big deal, but I just don't see a need to have a trellis all the way out there. Plus I have room to get around my magnolia when we cut grass. I am going to mound up some soil mix there to kind of elevate those roots. Again, this doesn't hold a foot of water by any means, but we'll always have some groundwater after heavy rain. You can see a little bit over here, just a low spot, but it's nothing bad. But we don't want these roots to get what they call root rot, and I think that may have been some of our problem with these vines here, is that unfortunately just had a little bit too much moisture. But all right, again, I messed up the other day at Tractor Supply. Got the wrong gauge wire. Really, I was in a hurry. So we had just landed a couple hours before that. Had to get a few things, and I think I was just itching to get down here to the camp after a day of flying from Denver, and I didn't pay attention. So my mistake on that, but we will adapt and overcome. And we're going to run what I think is 14 gauge wire. And just being a single strand of this, I'm not too terribly worried about it. I will add a T-post, even though I don't think I even need that, but err on the side of caution. I will have that in here too. So we'll get plenty to come around. This reminds me of back in my younger days doing acoustical ceilings and using the wire for that. Anyway, bad thing is I really screwed up because I went ahead and bought a decent sized roll, thinking it would be good to use this on my next project. Well, I can. I just got the wrong stuff. So we'll see. We'll make it work. If this is the worst that happens, I'll consider it a win. I could sit here and try to really get this thing super duper tight, but I'm going to get it hand tight, wrap it around, and adding a T-post in the middle. This thing's not going to be a problem. I can pick it up and go from there. And if I want to get tighter, I can always come back and do something, but I'll put a T-post here in the middle, plant the vine beside it, and we should be good. Not as tight as I like it to be, but it is what it is. Alright, so we got the vines from over there put on this side now. We're going to tie up this wire to a T-post that we drove in, and then from there we will take this vine. It's already got the wide that we want, and we will attach it to this new wire. So hopefully it'll continue to grow well. We just dug a little small hole there. We're going to take this soil, pack around this, and hopefully elevate it enough to stay out of most of the standing water. Alright, so we got everything transferred, put our potting soil around the base of this, went ahead and tied up our vines. It comes up here wise to go both directions, so we want it to go no farther than the post here, each direction. These little things we cut off here, we left a couple buds, so from here the new growth will start off of this and grow out. This vine will continue to grow. Went ahead and nipped the ends here, so we should get some more branches coming off of that. And we'll continue to carry down the wire. Everything over there, we got those the way we want them. Let's do a quick walk around over here. Let's start at the far one, and I said this trellis is way longer than it should be. If we're in the center here, and there's 14 feet from that post to here. We want the vine to stop about 10 feet. So as this continues to branch and grow down the line, we will knock it off at the end. Same thing for this direction. Come in here, do some, I may leave that guy. It nipped the end there. Probably cut off this one. We'll let this be our main cordon vine. And then the same thing here. I like this one being the longer one, so we'll probably cut off this and this. But we got that. We've got this one, same thing. It wise up. You guys can see it, but it goes that direction and goes that direction. Now I know Greg at Iceland's and even Shane up at Kinfolk Farm in Georgia, you know, ideally this would have made a run all the way down. We do have deer that come through here. Not sure what other critters would do it, but as this vine continues to grow, at the very end we get this new growth that comes up. Little tendrils on it, little sweet tender morsels for deer. And something must have got at the end here last year because this is as far as it went. I did check. We do have green wood on the end of this. I cut back a little bit, so the vine is alive and well. It just kind of stopped growing. So hopefully this year will be better. Shane has a great video of how first year muscadines will aggravate the mess out of you because they just aren't doing what you want them to do. But then we have the one that we just transplanted that did amazing. So I guess no two vines are the same, but all in all, I think this will be a good year for them to do well. And again, it may just be that we're so wet here, even though we did build this up slightly. May not be enough because the roots go down and they're staying in that moisture, and that could be stunning the growth too. But trial and error, and end of the day, I know we'll eventually get some muscadines off of this, so I'm not too concerned. But new trellis is up and wires up, T-post is in, so we just transplanted the old one, put it here, got tied up, so now we're just ready for some spring weather, and let's get some warm temps and get these vines are growing. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. I know nothing crazy, nothing mind-blowing knowledge, but just something cool to have for our future, to come out here and pick some muscadines and enjoy ourselves. But anyhow, I just thank y'all for watching and have a great day.